I've thought about this for a long time, and I am thoroughly convinced that cancel culture only affects people that lied about what they were about. I know that this is going to sound crazy, because cancel culture is like evil in itself. Like, it shouldn't even be a thing, even if people lie about what they're about. Like, cancel culture is literally equivalent to like the Salem witch trials. But at the same time, I figured out a loophole on how to avoid it. Have you noticed how, like, people like Nick Fuentes and, like, Josh Moon never really get, like, cancelled by their audiences? You know why? Because their audiences are curated around their, like, opinions. So, the reason why people like Doja Cat and, like, Andrew Tate keep getting cancelled is because they go against what they preach, in the sense of, okay, if you're going to say, here's a perfect example, if you're going to say you're really politically correct, you're an advocate for, like, minorities, you're an advocate for the oppressed, you care about people's rights, but then you go and say the N-word, right? All of your audience who you've curated to be supportive of you because they thought you were like an activist for those things are gonna be mad at you. But like, the thing with me is, I don't know if I could get cancelled, because it's not like I've told everyone that I'm like some social justice warrior, right? Like, if there's an audio of me that comes out where I'm saying like the N-word or like fucking saying a slur, people are gonna just be like, yeah, checks out, she's crazy. That's kind of like her vibe, I guess. But like, the thing is, the people that tend to get cancelled the most are people who said they were something different, you know? Like, you'll never fucking catch me out here being like, yeah, I really give a fuck about like about like fucking pro-Ukraine or like pro-Israel or pro-Palestine. Like, you know, if I said those things, all of the memes and the like comments I've made would come back to haunt me. So I feel like the way to avoid being cancelled is to just not lie to your audience. Now, this might be just bullshit, because I'm not at the stage where I'm big enough yet to know if this is a thing that works. But like, I like, my channel seems to just get bigger every time I stream, which is something that I find like kind of comforting, because I used to think I'd have to like grapple to get people to watch my fucking videos. Like, I was waiting for a time to start streaming, and like Godwinson doing that stream on me was kind of the perfect moment, because I wanted to like get in to like streaming and YouTube, but like I didn't want to like go live to like 2 people, because it's embarrassing, isn't it? Like, being like, oh, I'm gonna get into streaming and then no one watches you. So I feel like I had quite a good landing point, because, you know, I got like Godwinson streamed on me, and then like people like Tog sieved at me, and the Kino Casino mentioned, you know. I also have a KF thread. This brings me to my next point. It is basically impossible to be an e-celeb of any fucking status if you don't have a thread. And I figured this out. Like, Keppels recently was seething about how like most of their like views come from their KF thread. That should be a positive thing, because that means those people exist to engagement farm you. If you don't have a KF thread and you wanna have like a YouTube career, it's basically over from the start. You need a thread on like ED or KF, and the reason for that is those people are constantly sharing your content. It doesn't matter what the reason is, because at the end of the day, even if they hate you and they're making fun of you and they're laughing at you, they are sharing your content to a wider audience who might have different opinions. So even if people in your thread all hate your shit, they have shared that content enough for the algorithm to push it to people who will like your content. And that's my theory. I actually don't know if you can become a YouTuber without a thread of some sort. I actually have looked into this on like a like a big level, because when I was a kid, I wanted to be a fucking influencer. Like, I wanted to be an influencer. I wanted to be the influencer of all influencers. And not because I wanted to just be famous for being famous. It wasn't an attention thing. It was because when you have, like, a lot of followers, you have instant influence, right? You have instant ways to draw attention to the causes you care about, to things you're interested in. You also have an instant income, right? So whatever happens, if you lose your job, if your parents decide they hate you, if you get kicked out of education, you're always going to have an income if you're a famous influencer. So I just think it's an intelligent move in today's society. But I understand why people think it's vacuous and stuff. Like, I'm not stupid. Like, I get why people are like, oh, being an influencer is like the lowest IQ thing you can do. I get it, right? But it actually isn't. Stupid people actually can't really be influencers. Because there is so much that goes into creating content that you know is going to get clicked on. For example, like, I plan nearly everything I do around how much rage clicks it will get, how much, like, simps are going to click on it, you know, because that's how you, like, boost your audience. I feel like the issue with places like KF is that they don't seem to realize that when they share people's, like, videos, even if they're archiving it from YouTube, people are still going to go and click on that link, and people are still going to check that person's content out. Like, that's what happened with Sargon in a way. Sargon was bullied by so many people, and I don't like that guy because I think his politics on women and everything are just shit. But he had a, like, rare kind of W the other day because he said something about how women don't really have a place in politics, and I get that, but at the same time he fucked it up by being misogynistic, like, a few tweets later. I don't know. But Sargon was bullied by, like, the sector and Godwinson for the longest period of time. That was, like, a landing point that he managed to gain, like, a whole ass audience from. Like, this is my point. Having haters is actually the biggest way to get well known, because they are always going to be sharing your shit. Yeah, no one is going to boost your content more than people that don't like you. But the cancel culture element is something that scares a lot of people. But I think my theory is that if you've never lied from the start about what you support, you're not going to get cancelled. Because all the people that I see affected by cancel culture are people that seem to just bullshit their audience. Like, if someone turned around and they were like, did you make fun of people with pronouns, Trollcow? I would just be like, yeah, and what? Like, but, you know, if, I don't know, Dylan Mulvaney did the same thing, everyone would be like to him, how could you fucking do that? Like, that is so out of order. So I feel like it's about perspective in a way. Like, I don't know. That's just my theory. Maybe it's dumb, but